Hey guys, so for today's video I will be making some delicious pumpkin soup. Look at this color, it is looking so beautiful. So for my ingredients guys, I have yellow yam. It kind of, I don't know why it looks so, but I will make use of it. I have some turnip, some relish, some dasheen. In Jamaica we call it dasheen, but in the store in Marcoco, let me know, I don't sure. I have some okra chocho, that's what we call it in Jamaica, pumpkin corn, my cock soup and flour, and I'm using chicken foot, right? I'm not a fan of chicken foot, but I just choose to use it this time. But you have to ensure that you clean up your chicken foot. So these are the chicken toes. Ensure that you remove it before you put it in your soup. So I'm just gonna cut those off, and once I finish cut it off, I'm just gonna use some vinegar and wash it properly. You can use lime to wash it as well, or you can use both, whichever you prefer. Okay, and if you are new to my channel guys, welcome. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe for more videos. Okay, so once I finish washing my chicken foot, I'm just gonna go right away and cut the pumpkin. Also in the store, this is marked as squash. I don't know if it is pumpkin or squash, but in my side it is pumpkin, so I use this, and the color was looking amazing, right? It wasn't a disappointment at all. Look at that, it is looking so beautiful. So I'm just gonna use half of it. I'm just gonna cut it, remove the seed and cut it in small pieces. Okay, so once I finish cutting my pumpkin, I'm just gonna go ahead and wash them before I put them in the pot. And this is how I was taught to boil soup by my mom. So normally, whenever you're making soup, you want to add your meat and your pumpkin to the pot at one time. You can season your meat or you cannot season your meat, whichever you choose. Go about doing it. So I had the chicken foot and I had the pumpkin to the pot, cover it and allow it to cook. So once the pumpkin is cooked, so here I'm testing to see if the pumpkin is cooked. Once it is cooked, I'm going to go ahead and use my spoon, or you can use a fork, and mash the pumpkin. This is how you get that nice beautiful color. Also, if you don't want to mash it, you can just remove it and use a blender to blend it. Now once I finish mash the pumpkin, I'm just gonna cover it and allow it to boil for about 5 minutes. Then I'm going to wash my hands, ensure that I wash my hand properly and dry it, and I'm going to go ahead and start kneading my flour. You can use a spoon to knead flour, but I think my hand worked perfectly fine, so I'm just going to use my hand and do so. I'm not a flour person, so I'm not going to use a lot. I think I like flour with caramel more, but I don't have any caramel, so I'm just going to keep it this plain. So I'm going to add some salt to my flour. Yeah, it is called flour. Once it is not mixed with water, it is called flour. Then I'm going to get my water and pour some. Don't pour everything all at once, just pour a small portion because you don't want it to be too soft. Yes, but I think mine come out too soft. But anyway, I'm just gonna leave it just the way it is because I don't want no hard dumpling. The dumpling are too hard to eat because I'm not a flour person, as I said before. So once I finish knead it, I'm just gonna cover it and set it aside before I go ahead and form it into the shape that I want it. Next, I'm going to go ahead and peel my ground provision. So this is the yam, guys. For some reason, I think this yam is so old, as you can see, but you know, when you're not in the Caribbean, you just have to make use of what you have. So I realized that once I start peeling the yam start change color. Look at that. But yeah, I already paid for it, so I'm just gonna make use of it. So I peel my yam. I'm gonna peel my dasheen and all the ground provision that you see here, and let me know if this is called dasheen, because as I said before, it is called cocoa, Jamaican cocoa in the store, but I know this is dasheen for sure. And this dasheen also, you could see that it was going bad, right? So if you're going to the store and you need any ground provision, you can walk with a knife or anything, or ask the person at the front so that you can test to ensure that it is good, so you get your money worth, right? Don't be like me. So I learned my lesson. The next time I'm going to the store, I'm going to ensure that I walk with a knife to test it to see if it is good, because I think I waste a lot here. Even the potato, they were going bad, and I didn't see that because I bought this big bag of potato and I didn't realize that, because I can't see it in the brown bag, so I didn't know. But anyway, once I finish peel my ground provision, I'm just gonna wash them. Yes, because I'm making soup, so I want to ensure that these ground provision are clean before I put it in the soup, because remember, we are drinking it. finished washing them, I'm just gonna go ahead and put them in the pot. And for some reason I don't like wash yam because yam always kind of scratch me. So if you want to wear a gloves or something, you can go ahead and do so it doesn't scratch you, but it normally scratch me whenever I wash it. Yes, I'm just gonna place them in the pot, and I realized that there was too much water in there. So if it is a case where whenever you put in your ground provision in the pot and you realize that it is floating over too much water, you can go ahead and take out some and set it aside. Do not throw it away, just set it aside because you maybe use it later on in your cooking. So I'm just gonna stir it and cover it, and as I said, I removed some of the water because it was too much. And normally what I saw my mom do is after she put the ground provision in the pot, she wait last to put the flour. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe because you don't want the flour to overcook. Maybe I don't know why. But yes, now I'm going to go ahead and form my dough. Do not judge my dough, guys. It is dough. It is dumpling. It is dumpling. Alright, as I said, it was too soft, but I make use of it. So once I form my dough, I'm just gonna go ahead and place them in the pot for it to cook. And remember, if you are new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more videos. So here I am just gonna place the dumpling in the pot and allow it to cook. Look at that color, it is looking so good. And normally when I'm cooking, I don't put salt in my pot until the end because I don't want my food to be salty. If you watch all of it, you realize that I'm not a person that cooks with a lot of salt because of the season, right? So ensure that you don't put any salt in your pot until you probably put the cup noodle or something, because you don't want your soup to be salty. So now it's time to season our soup. So I'm using the spicy noodle as well as a regular one. So I use 2 for this. Yes, so once I pour in my cat noodle, I'm going to stir it. Ensure that you stir it because you don't want it to be lumpy. Alright, and ensure that you stir the bottom as well, because if you don't stir the bottom, your soup will burn at the bottom. So ensure that you stir your soup properly. I'm just gonna go ahead and put in some corn. This is sweet corn that I'm using, so it doesn't take long to cook, and some carrot. You know, your soup have to look good and taste good as well. So once I put in those, I end up remove some of the water again, guys, because it was so full. Even though it's not a lot of liquid, but once I put that food in the pot, it just start like, it make it look like there is a lot of water when there is not. But ensure that you don't throw away the liquid that you remove. So I'm just gonna place some okra. I really love okra. Yes, I love okra. some thyme and pepper because I like it spicy, and then I'm going to put some scallion or green onion, whatever you call it. And look at that, just like that. It is smelling so good, it is tasting so delicious. And yes, our soup is done. Just like that. It is simple to make and very delicious, even though it can be time consuming. But you know, sometimes you need some soup on one Friday. Go run in the kitchen and make some. You will not be disappointed. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. Bye.